Welcome to the Reptiles With Podcast. This episode is brought to you by REPTICON Reptile Shows, Premium Crickets, and Reptiles Express. Let's get started. I get to talk to Tino from the fucking Reptiles With Podcast. It's crazy, dude.
I get stuck with Yoshii from the Reptiles With Podcast.
Who the fuck is that guy? So what's up, bro? How was the show so far for you?
It is interesting, very interesting. It's one of the bigger shows, so there's like a lot of tables, a lot of people are here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't show up either. Like I don't see New Moon. New Moon's not here. I didn't see Aquatic and Exotic. You know, like people that are always there. Oh, there we go.
Look at that. Look at that guy.
People that are like literally always there. So I'm like, interesting. That's super weird. And there's like 2 tables with just Funko Pops. Did you notice that?
That one of them is my ball python mentor's wife.
Who's your ball python mentor?
David.
I don't know who that is.
They're right next to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like there's 2 end caps right next to each other.
Okay.
One with like a lot of ball pythons, the other one with the Funkos. The ball python one.
Yeah, but honestly, dude, Imperial's table's the best. And that's not even from a bias. I know I'm wearing the merch.
Yeah.
But I really like the niche stuff. So
okay.
Not a lot of. It's a really ball python heavy. That's the story.
Yeah. I mean, I bought some stuff. I bought 2 gargoyle geckos.
You did, yeah.
I was very close to buying a ball python, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was, and then I was like,
Gotcha.
But there is a vendor here that has a very expensive ball python. It's not here, but I know it's on his morph market.
Gotcha.
That I'm gonna be like, hey, so
Hey,
where's this animal? And is 4,000 the best price?
So when I go to the shows, I'm just speed running basically the ball python sections. I'm like,
Yeah.
But surprisingly, there was one that made me stop. That I was like, okay, what is that? And it's literally just a black pastel.
A black
pastel
fuck.
Yoshii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, all
that
black,
you like,
a lot of splotch of pattern. I was like, that's cool.
I think that's what you like. You like dark snakes.
I do like dark snakes.
Yeah.
I do.
Or green ones.
Or green ones. And so yesterday, the first day, I got a whole box of bamboo.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
yes, I know.
Wood
is
super expensive, so I got it for a deal.
Yeah.
And so the snakes that I work with, they come from Southeast Asia. So there's bamboo there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, cool. It's like actually naturalistic.
Yeah. Your bamboo hit me in the back yesterday.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, that's what it literally fell on me, dude. I was like, oh, look. When the box broke, it fell on me.
Oh, damn, dude. I'm so sorry.
So how's your car after it getting stuck in the fucking parking lot at REPTICON?
It's perfect. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
a Jeep. He survived.
He survived.
Yeah, but he could not get out of the rut for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it was
He
cool.
got lazy, dude. He was like, I'm tired.
He was like, no.
Yeah. Cool, man.
My
So,
hands were dirty as heck, though, going under there. And
of course, dude. You were in your favorite. You were in the dirt,
I
dude.
was in the dirt. You're right. I was looking for isopods. Is what I was doing.
Talking about isopods, did you see any cool isopods here?
Yeah, actually. Some people have cappuccinos, white duckies.
Okay.
I will say the isopod market is tanking. It is taking a deep hit.
Okay.
And I think it's because people are getting more and more in tune with keeping the higher end species.
Yes.
And they're getting better about it.
Okay.
And being isopods, they're very, very minimal care to start with, so you can produce them en masse constantly.
Yeah.
So I think honestly the prices are just dropping.
But that's a good opportunity for you.
Yeah.
Because like any market, what comes up must go down, and vice versa, right?
Yes.
So like right now would be a real good time for you to start getting some really high end stuff, and then as the market comes back up, whenever it does, you could ride that wave.
Yeah.
Or it'll hit a plateau and it'll stabilize, and you'll have some solid stuff regardless.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Did you grab plate lizards too?
Yeah.
Did do that fun stuff. I want to go with breeding them. I'm thinking about the possibility of getting a shed, putting it basically getting like how do I say this? Not tins, but like big canisters where they feed like troughs.
Yes.
And keeping them in there with lights and all that stuff.
Okay.
Maybe even adding like a sunroof to the thing so it can add some natural heat in there and light. But I don't know. It's a big project, so I don't know.
Wait. What if? I mean, how are they with humidity?
They do really well. They're very, very adaptable.
What if you do, and I just realized this because my friend did this for his water monitor. What if you do like a greenhouse?
Okay.
Because you could do it, if you do a greenhouse, one, you could have your fucking plants in there.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You can have more plants.
You're right.
Good.
Actually.
But you can also put a trough in there. It'll get natural light. You could open it when it's You could open like the windows.
And, like,
yeah, exactly. But you could put your lights. I mean, obviously an extension from the house or whatever.
Right.
So it's like the same idea with a shed, but with a greenhouse. Yeah. But I mean, were you thinking about putting other animals in there or just the plated?
Probably just the plated.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'd want to keep
that'll
them
be fine. Yeah. That'd be cool actually. I think that's a cool idea.
That would be cool. Maybe. I did get bee pollen for them.
Ooh.
I don't know if they'll eat it, but we'll see what happens. That's why I only got like a little tiny container, $5.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I need $5. I didn't actually pay for this.
Who did you get that from?
She was like, oh, so I go over there and I'm like, oh, I'll take the bee pollen. She's like, okay, do you have cash? I'm like, no, I have a card. And she's like, oh, I don't have a card reader. And I was like, oh, I don't have cash. So she was like, oh, just take it. You'll just by the end of the show give me the $5. I'm like, okay.
She probably saw your Imperial shirt and she's like, oh, you work for Imperial.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're a vendor.
So on that note, go fucking to Daddy Alex and go borrow somebody. You could have $5.
Alex, like, can I just bump
I felt bad because I had to pay for one of the geckos cash yesterday.
Okay.
And I didn't have cash. I didn't want to use the ATM because they charge you like $5 on the fucking ATM. So I had to be like, hey man, can I borrow like $180? Like, I'll bring it to you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, I'm Steve from Steve's Morphs out of Brooksville, Florida.
Hell yeah.
I'm a little breeder. I do a few clutches
a little
year.
breeder.
A little breeder.
So, I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I need you to convince me to not buy one of your Ultramelpides.
Oh, actually, I don't have any Ultramelpides with me. I have Ultramels that are Heiferpide. But they have ringers on them.
Got you. Okay,
yes.
I was wondering. Okay.
It was a clutch that I bred just to make some more hets. I wanted to make some Ultramel hets just to actually have them on there. And basically, I bred the Ultramelpide to the Ultramel, and everything came out ringered.
Wow,
and I've
dude.
never seen any ringers on Ultramels before.
Got you.
It was a pretty cool clutch, I mean, for what it was, and I wanted females.
Yeah.
And I only got one, and she didn't ring her.
Oh, damn, bro.
But it's okay.
So
they'll sell.
It seems like everybody's worried for the next couple of years, right? Everybody thinks we got recession coming, we got hard times. What are you doing to prepare for something like that?
Well, the thing is with ball pythons in the reptile industry, it's a wave.
Yeah.
This happens every so many years.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been in this for anything more than 5 to 7 years, you've seen it more than once. And everybody worries. The economy's in the toilet right now.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different things that are going on that's affecting some of the market and the way people spend. But I haven't slowed down on sales.
Okay.
My online sales are still doing great. It's more higher end. It's not as much lower end.
Yep.
The higher end stuff is moving, but it seems like people are trying to capitalize and buy the higher end stuff right now and build their collection.
Yep.
So if it does slow down, they're still going to have really cool stuff. Now's the time to buy.
Yeah.
As opposed to put it off.
Yep.
Build that collection. If it slows down, well, if I have stuff on my table or stuff that doesn't sell this year, I will hold it.
Yep.
I will shelf it. And in another year or two, and I can breed that stuff, even better.
Yeah. And I think that you said something very key. The stuff that you're producing is high end. You know, I have a little bit of a mix, right? Because a lot of my animals will go to like, I work for Imperial, which is a pet shop here in Orlando. So, I do supply them with, some ball pythons, right?
I get
but
that.
then my projects are high end. And what I've noticed is that the high end stuff does great. The rest of it is having issues.
The big spenders and the people that spend money on higher end stuff, the economy is not affecting them.
Yeah.
They're always going to be big spenders. They want to be a part of this. You might see some of the smaller end people that don't have a lot invested or tried through COVID, said this is a cool thing to do.
Yep.
You might see them go out.
Yep.
They might not stay in because they can't move that stuff as quickly.
Yeah.
But and it's going to be selective on what you're going to breed. If you're going to breed Codom to Codom, you're kind of
it's tough.
You're kind of hitting a wall there.
Yeah.
You want to get at least one recessive, if not a double or a triple.
Yeah.
Because that's what everything is going to now. So to make Codoms, it's going to be more of the pet trade.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I have Codoms, and I'm trying to make my entire collection recessive.
Yeah.
And get rid of most of the Codoms. The Codoms that are going to stay in my collection are the ones I want to make hets with.
Yes.
And then once I make what I want with them, I'll move them out. Nothing wrong with them. They're great females, great males. But if I don't need them in those projects, I just move on.
But that's true. And then also, like, even with the Codom stuff, what you're not talking about is you're not talking about your pastel, your yellow belly. You're talking about stuff that's new. We have Wookiee.
Right.
Mahogany's still doing great.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So I'm in a position still where I'm like, I thought by Daytona, I was like, okay, I'm set. And then now I'm already on another cycle of, okay, what am I going to get rid of? Because it's tough. It's When I first started, I was like, I'll never be able to afford lavender albino, so I settled with albino pied. And now I'm like, I should have just bought lavender albino, you know. But luckily, what I did get into was candy pieds.
Okay.
You know, so and I
got a lot of that too.
Yeah, exactly. And then I had bought around the time where Confusion was really like hitting like the mainstream. I had bought a Super Pastel Spot Nose Confusion, and I was like super excited. I was like, dude, like it's gonna be great. Like this is gonna be a breakthrough thing for me. And that male just did not do good, you know. So
they're not great eaters.
Yeah, it's
once you get them up to size, they're fine for breeding.
Yeah,
but they're hard to stay on feed sometimes.
Understood. Interesting.
It's a challenging morph to deal with. Not like you get females up to 1,000 grams and then they shut off eating.
Yeah.
Confusions and acids can do that right off the bat.
Gotcha.
As soon as they come out of the egg, they could be crappy eaters. Or they could take a long time to get up to size.
Interesting.
I mean, I had males that were 2 years old and pushing 600 grams. It just didn't eat regularly.
Yeah.
So it was making it really difficult. But they did breed.
Yeah.
And they did eat sporadically throughout breeding,
Yeah.
so it kept them afloat.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times it got really sketchy, and I was like, oh, if I keep breeding this thing, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
He's gonna pass on me. But you just got to know when to stop breeding them.
Yep.
Once they get to a point and you're like, okay, this is way too skinny. If I keep breeding him, he's not back on food. He's going to die.
Got you.
And everybody at one point will probably make that mistake. I did it many years ago.
Yeah.
And it only takes that one time to go, okay.
Not doing that again.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
You got to learn from your mistakes.
For sure. So if you want to stay, young breeder wants to stay afloat during the quote-unquote hard times that we're supposed to hit, what do you think they should work with to be okay?
I would definitely say stick to recessives.
Yep. Are there any that like specifically stick out, like this is safe, You
got, Pied, Desert Ghost, Clown. There's so many out there now.
Yeah.
Don't put hypo out either, because hypo's a really good gene. It cleans everything up, makes it really look nice as an adult. And now you're doing double recessives with that, triple recessives with that. It's going to help that color stay too.
Yeah.
I've never really gotten into Monsoon or Sunset.
Okay.
So those are just not my kind of choice kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like tri-stripes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying tri-stripes are the way to go, but I think if you stay to the basics of Clown, Pied, and Desert Ghost, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That can keep you afloat.
I'm a fan of tri-stripe. That's something that I don't have in my collection that I definitely want to get in my collection. But I just get worried with certain mutations that have too much of an impact on an animal. And like that one, I'm like, so it could either look like a very nice tri-stripe or it won't look too much like a tri-stripe. I feel similarly with like the Monsoons and the Sunset, where it's like so powerful. It's just like, what am I going to do with this?
Well, the problem is when you have Monsoon and tri-stripe and stuff like that, like, Sunset is kind of more of a color.
Yeah.
Also, it's got a pattern.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a washed out GHI kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the Monsoon and the tri-stripe, you don't really want to alter that pattern too much because that's what you're shooting for.
Yep.
So you can change the colors on a lot of stuff. With tri-stripe, you can add Desert Ghost, you can add Banana, you can add Albino or Ultramel, whatever you want to do. And it's still going to have that 3 stripes.
Yep.
You distort the pattern too much, it won't look like a tri-stripe anymore. Now, the same thing with the Monsoon project. If you change that pattern too much, it might look like a pewter pinstripe or something.
Gotcha.
Because it's got that, it could be like the next pinstripe. It's got a lot of that pattern through it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you're just changing colors with those, not so much as pattern.
Gotcha.
I think there's been some Monsoon combos that have come out. I think there was some leopards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they still look cool. They didn't really take too much away from it. But those are ones you really got to be careful with.
Got you.
The biggest thing I think is color change with them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the Kiki Ball genetic stripe clowns. It's like a great thing going on right now. What do you see for the future for, let's say, a tri-stripe clown? You think it'll be similar, or you think it just will act differently?
I don't think it's going to look good.
Okay.
It's not enough.
Gotcha.
I think I've actually seen tri-stripe clown, and it didn't really do anything for me.
Gotcha.
It's kind of up there with puzzle clown.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much for that gene.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things you can put in the clown to make it look so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just look what Justin's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Justin's the king of clowns right now. He can do anything with clown.
Do you think that we'll ever get to a point where it's just like, there's too many clown? It's just that there's so much to do with clowns.
There is, and if you go on Morph Market, you're going to see for like the pieds, the clowns, and stuff like that, you're going to see over 3,000 or 4,000 clowns out there.
Got you.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a visual clowns.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be too many. The way this industry is growing and people are getting into it every day.
Yeah.
I still don't think we'll meet the demand. I still think that we still have a long way to go with this. I'm a big fan of clown. Yeah. So that's kind of one of my things. And Desert Ghost is another one. So
that's like a mistake that I made. A mistake I made was I had the opportunity when I first started getting into ball pythons to start with clowns. I didn't. I was like, I'm just going to do pieds. And then I didn't produce pieds until I was already producing clowns late in the game.
I gotcha.
You know, so yeah, man, there's definitely some exciting stuff. I have a project. I don't know if it's been done before, but I'm calling it the Banana Split Project, right? So it's vanilla cream.
Okay.
GHI banana clown. That's what I'm trying to hit.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a pair of GHI vanilla creams, het clowns, and then I have a few like female banana fire clowns that I've been raising up. So that's kind of like my idea.
Well, I think everybody in their collection should have a project like that. Yeah. A lot of people tend to follow the market, what everybody else is doing. I want to make that. Yeah. Well, if you're buying babies to make something that somebody's already made, you're 2 years behind.
Exactly.
By the time 2 years comes up and you can make that, do you still want to make that?
You're right.
I mean, I think everybody should have their own projects in mind and the things that they want to make, not necessarily follow everybody else's project. Make your own project or do a twist on it, something.
Exactly. It's like, let's say somebody came out with miscellaneous 5-gene clown. Yeah. It's more about, I want to make that, so I'm going to get the 5-gene with a het. It's like, no, what are you going to do to improve that?
Right. You don't want to make the exact same thing. You want to add to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can take one or two of those genes out of it.
Yep.
And it would still look really cool. Or
cool.
Take one out and add something different, and it's going to change the entire appearance of the snake. So, with that being inside your projects, that keeps you going.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a goal.
Yeah.
You know, it's your goal. It's something that you want to do. It's not something that everybody else wants to do.
Yep.
You know, and it may have already been done. I mean, there's a bunch of things that I say, this would be really cool. I think I want to make this.
Yeah.
And then I'll Google search it, and I'm like, oh, shit, somebody already made it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But now I can improve on that.
Yep.
I can add something to it. I can take something out of it. I can go a different route. Maybe it's close to what I want to do, but not exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then some of the stuff, we have no idea what it's going to look like.
Yeah, for sure.
So to add all these genes, it's like we think it's going to be great. It might turn out muddy and look like crap.
Yeah.
I've seen some really cool stuff, and you hear about all these genes in the one snake, and then you see the snake, and you're like, oh, that's a letdown. That was disappointing. I was like, well, shit, I'm glad I didn't do that one. You know, but you don't know until you try.
Yeah. So what's going on? I know that we just did this, the terrapin stuff like that. That's something that I was specifically very passionate about. I've worked with the diamondback terrapins, and you know, to see how everything went down, it kind of sucks. I feel like
very disappointing.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, the talk of the town is like, why do they keep just like, how do I say, just like pushing us to the side? You know, like they don't want to almost like listen to the things that we want to say. You know,
well, the ideology we found out several years ago in a conference we had with FWC, and we were discussing different, you know, future projects and working together. And their basic answer to us, well, if it can live and breed in the state of Florida, we don't want it here.
Yeah.
So it is coming true. They are trying to prohibit everything. We are working diligently. We have tried to work with them, even going back to the tegus. Back in, I think it was 2018, one of the board members of US Art Florida did present a program to FWC, stating that we foresee that could be a potential issue in the state of Florida, and let's start working together early. And their answer to us was no. You know, there's no issues. We're not worried about that. That's the last thing we're going to put on the agenda or the budget. And now, you know, coming to 2021, they're trying to prohibit it. They went through the judicial system, and they passed a law which was very detrimental, and people are like, why did you fight that? You know, if they turned around and did it this way anyways. We fought it because if it is a law, any state law enforcement officer, meaning your local, police officers, your sheriffs, anyone would have been able to come into your house and arrest you for having a prohibited species. It was a law. So FWC at that point in time, when they did that, US Art Florida stepped up. We did file a lawsuit, and we did prevail. The judge did say at that time that was not the legal way to do it, that FWC had to go through the right and proper channels through the Constitution and do it the right way, which they said they did. And now we're back at another lawsuit, and they didn't. And we are proving that right now, or, attempting to prove that to the judge. We have Judge Cooper right now that is our judge in our case.
Got you. So it seems like there is a little bit of a friction with certain groups, certain people with USARK. On this podcast, we have spoken a lot about USARK. It's me, my friend Tino, and Chuck. Mm-hmm. The two of them, they'll go on their opinions. I've been a USARK supporter for a while. I do say my opinions. I do have my opinions, but specifically one of them is no, I'm not a USARK supporter. He does conservation. He's like, I support conservation. If I'm going to put my money, I'm going to put into conservation. How do we hit those people? How do we get them to be like, hey, USARK is doing something? How do you think we get there? How do you think we get to those kinds of people that are almost anti-USARK?
I would love them to call me. Call any of our board members. Call Phil on a national level. Ask us what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let us sit down and talk. We are for conservation 100%. If you look at the Terrapin program that just went through, that we had developed a full US Art Florida, worked with many biologists and turtle keepers throughout the United States, not just Florida. And it was for the conservation of diamondback terrapins. That's what the whole purpose of our rule was. And they wouldn't even talk about it. They said there's no need at this point in time to even discuss that. So USARK and US Art Florida are 100% for conservation of the species that we represent. 100%.
Yeah, I think that it sucks as it's wouldn't you think that you would talk to the people that know how to breed these animals to conserve the species?
We had letters upon letters from biologists and specialists and top terrapin breeders saying that this is what was needed. And they supported our program. And it wasn't even looked at. I've
never worked with tegus. I've never worked with iguanas. It's the terrapins was I've been supporting since the beginning of USARK Florida, but it was the terrapins where I was like, fuck, man. Because I've had terrapins. I've had a male and a female, and they did do their thing. I never tried to collect the eggs because of FWC laws, but whenever they did hatch, they would go to trusted friends hey, you want a good pet turtle? This is the thing for you,
They're amazing.
And, it really is a shame, but in a certain sense, I get where they're coming from, where they think that these things are going to be an issue, but it's wouldn't you think that you would listen to the people that know about these things, to fix the situation, to help the situation? So it definitely is a shame. So what's next for USARK? What are we doing next?
US Art Florida is doing several things. Certain things I can talk about, certain things that we can't. We are, of course, in the middle of a lawsuit with FWC at this current time, and we are trying to go back to the CSP rule. We are also looking at different legislation, and we're working with our lobbyist. So we're also looking at other programs for conservation for the state of Florida. So there are many levels of things that we are working on. It's just, if we sit here and tell you everything, and that's why I tell people, call me. Let's talk about it. Call any of our board members. Let's sit down. Let's have that conversation. I can talk one-on-one, but on a podcast, if we go, hey, guess what? We're doing A, B, and C.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's really hard.
Yeah, you have to play the politics game, because you gotta, put things a little bit aside or whatever. But the only thing that sucks about that, and which I understand why you have to do it, but then it's then you have people thinking things aren't transparent. Things are there's some kind of fear-mongering. They don't understand the severity of a situation. So what do we do other than hey, call me, let's talk about it? What do we do to get those kinds of people to understand what's actually happening?
Well, we have been working diligently. Daniel Parker we have hired for our social media, and I think he has done a phenomenal job. So if you follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, we are really trying to be transparent on a lot of things that we are currently working on and different topics and issues that are coming up. So we personally are trying to really show the issues at hand and be as transparent as possible and be available, as much as possible. We're also posting stuff on our website of different issues that are going on. There's the tag meetings, and I'm telling you, I know how to get people to get involved.
Yeah.
Show up at a tag meeting. Show up at a commission meeting. We post them all the time.
Yeah.
All the tag meetings are posted. If you showed up at one tag meeting, you might not be able to say something, but just sit in the back and listen.
Yeah.
Just watch what's happening. You will have a different ideology. You will see what we're up against.
Yeah.
It'll take one meeting, one day of your life.
Yeah. For sure. Well, cool stuff. Thank you for coming on. You want to tell anybody anything, or are we good?
Guys, support US Arc and US Arc Florida. Become a member, and let me tell you, if you have $5 a month to donate, that's it, $5. If every one of you donated $5 a month, we'd be unstoppable. We need to unite everybody, not just reptile, but the mammals, the birds, the fish. They're not stopping. So come on, join hands. Let's get together and let's fight this battle and let's prevail.
Villarino Reptiles on Morph Market. How you doing?
Hell yeah.
On Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll move this a little closer. There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're going.
Yeah.
All right, so you brought me your balls, dude.
Yeah,
Show me your balls.
I brought a blade clown head exanthic and a blade exanthic head clown. Just wanted to show them a little bit.
You wanted to show me your balls.
Yeah.
So okay, you're working with a lot of exanthic stuff.
Yes.
Why VPI?
Well, I mean, back in the day when I got in, it was the mainstay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been into ball python since about 2006.
Oh shit!
I got
dude.
into exanthics in 2009.
Okay.
When nobody was really working it.
Ah, okay, okay.
Because I just love the gene.
Yeah. I would be definitely one of your top customers if you work with the Snakekeeper line, because that's the line that I work with.
JD really blew up with the Snakekeeper line, and overall he helped exanthics take them to another level. For
sure, man. So it's a blade clown head exanthic.
Yeah.
VPI, and then the other one is exanthic.
Blade exanthic. Head clown.
Cool, man. And you have also your exanthic pieds.
Yeah.
It seems like for a while people were like, no, I don't want to work with exanthic because it just takes away the color. I've always been a big fan of exanthic because it's not, in that sense, I guess it's not really about the color. It's about the contrast. It's about the pattern that you can add to them. And then especially when you're stacking the recessives, the exanthic clowns, beautiful. Exanthic pieds, beautiful. Are you doing anything else with exanthic other than clown and pied?
I'm doing True Ghost.
True Ghost, okay.
I'm going to get DG into it now.
Okay.
Eventually Cypress.
Okay.
I'm looking at that. Maybe Lace. Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. You want to do some puzzle?
Eventually.
Yeah.
I'm getting into puzzle soon.
Cool. Yeah.
I might try Sunset, something that maybe some people might not do. I'm gonna work it. See what happens.
About that.
My buddy Pike gave me that idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea, dude.
I might. Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if exanthic is stripping yellow and red, or yellow or red, I mean, it'd be a nice animal, especially because the sunsets do have a little bit of a different pattern.
Yeah.
So that pattern would show a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I if I'm not mistaken, it would be primarily white and like a silver.
I mean, we'll see. It's either gonna be amazing or it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. And there's only one way to find out,
we gotta try, right?
Exactly.
So,
but I think that would be great, especially if best case scenario, it shows more of the pattern of the sunset, and then you can start adding another recessive to that, and that's cool stuff, man.
We'll see what else I'm putting fire, vanilla, eventually OD. But blade is very important when it comes to the exanthic clowns. That's why my exanthic clowns are, in my view, they're exceptional.
They're great, dude. They're great, honestly.
It has to do with blade. It has to do with my line, being nice and bright.
Yeah. Now, when you're putting in your orange dream, maybe a pastel or whatever, are you having issues like picking those out in the clutch? Like you're like, no, that one clearly has orange dream, this one clearly doesn't. Are you having any issues like that with color mutations?
I'm not a big time stacker.
Okay.
For that, primarily for those reasons.
Okay.
I like to keep it to 2 and 3 genes.
2 and 3 genes, and
I don't like anything more than that unless I primarily I want this.
I understand.
Like my Batman stuff, I'm gonna put exanthic to it. I'm going to
no a podcast. yeah.
I'm going to add confusion to Batman. Those are things I want to do, but like for the most part, I'm not a big time stacker.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't. It's not my thing.
And then to that, more than anything, would you say you do more pattern stuff or more color stuff? Or is it just a mix?
I think it's more color.
More color?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say.
Cool, man.
But yeah, man, DG True Ghost. True Ghost is gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
DG True Ghost Clown.
Yeah.
You know, DG True Ghost Blade Clown.
Yeah.
Those are the things that pop up for me immediately and make me happy. Yeah,
I have most of my Exantic stuff. It's either mixed with lavender albino. I have some stuff. So I bred. Follow me on this one. It was a leopard pied. It was het desert ghost. Supposedly no Exantic, right? I bred that to a bumblebee Exantic. I produced Exantics. So that leopard pied is double het desert ghost Exantic. So I have that clutch that I'm raising up. I also have a clutch of like some really nice like pastel. I think it's like a super pastel. That's double het clown Exantic possible het desert ghost. So yeah, I like the Exantic stuff a lot. I think
I think Hypo is gonna have a resurgence.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if DG is so popular,
yeah.
I mean, look at what it's doing.
I know, bro.
I think
insane.
Hypo eventually has to get its due respect.
And I think that I feel like Hypo was dead for a while. And then when they started adding it to Desert Ghost, they were like, "Oh shit, this shit's back."
Shit. Yeah, shit's.
You know what's one that I never thought would come back? Genetic Stripe.
It's here.
Yeah, with clown and shit like that, and I'm like, bro. And I literally the year that I think it was like the year after the Kiki ball came out like mainstream, I sold all of my Genetic Stripe stuff, bro.
Nobody was into that, bro.
It was crazy.
I was flirting with it for a long time. And finally, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do Ultramel Genetic Stripe.
Nice.
I'm gonna do some Kiki stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna breed an Exantic clown, an Exantic blade clown, to a banana Leo Genetic Stripe eventually.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Dude, that's
this
awesome,
is so much fun, bro. Just continuing to build.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think that for most of my projects, the end of the line is adding the Exantic. You know, I have, for example, Ultramel Hypo stuff that I'm breeding and Ultramel Pied stuff that I'm breeding. The idea is to get those things together and then throw it to like the Pied Exantics that I'm going to produce. So that way it's like you have the example with all the color and then you have the example with black and white, silver, contrast, like just badass.
I'll tell you, in 2009, I never saw Exantic being where it is today.
Yeah.
Yo, it's important. Yo, Canova.
Yeah, dude.
Yesterday, you saw his post?
No, I didn't.
A handful of, I think, OD Pieds with a bunch of Exantic combos.
Bruh.
You know, he's got them in his hand. Either he or Summer have them in their hands and, you know, shared it.
Yeah.
So, bro, Exantics are coming. They're coming hard, bro. So,
same, bro.
Again, I gotta thank JD. I gotta thank MJ. And in some ways, I have to say it. Some people are giving me some credit.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm pushing it hard. So.
Well, you are definitely pushing me, my guy. Like when I was seeing, we've been friends on Facebook for a couple years since I worked at the old shop, and I've been seeing you post your shit and whatever. And I'm like, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just when I thought that I was like, maybe I need to start like pulling away from my Exantic projects, I'm not doing too much with it. Yeah. And I saw you doing it, I'm like, bro, I gotta do this.
Yeah,
I gotta get on it,
bro.
for sure, man.
Bill Murray. I'm the owner of Redfoot Ranch. Right now, I'm located in Waimama, Florida. I'm hoping to relocate. Should I be looking at the camera or
you can look at me. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
I just feel like we should be having a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So, like right now, I'm in Waimama, Florida, but I'm in the process of moving to Texas.
Got you.
Florida's just getting too crazy here with all the big lizard rules and stuff like that, which is why I did get into breeding skinks in the first place.
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about Blue Tongued Skinks my success with them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping Blue Tongued Skinks for about 4 years.
Okay.
I've had several friends that were very successful breeders of them, so I had a lot of friends that had a lot of knowledge. I had never really worked with them before. I've sold them here and there, but never actually attempted to breed them.
Yep.
So when I decided that I wanted to breed something small because they already banned the tegus.
Yeah.
And I'm working with croc monitors, white throats, black throats, which has always been my future.
Yeah.
Right now I'm also sitting on 20 tegus that I can't really do anything with.
God,
which is why I want to go back out to Texas so that I can start all that breeding again. So I wanted to have a smaller lizard that I didn't think they were going to ban here in Florida. So I said, Blue Tongued Skinks are great.
Yep.
I wanted something easy, and I wanted something that I didn't have to do a lot of bugs with. So I've bred bearded dragons in the past. I've bred leopard geckos and different chameleons, but didn't like that at any given time you had to have 4,000 crickets and 3 different sizes. And, so I wanted to do something that was going to be easy, but then a little bit more on the trickier side. So
I think the blue tongues anyways are a better pet lizard. Yeah, for sure.
Same.
Yeah.
I like that you can feed them the dog foods and the cat foods. It's just really easy.
Exactly.
So right now I'm feeding anything from large rats, crocodile meat, or not crocodile, alligator meat.
There you go.
Eggs, just anything and everything that I can get my hands on for the lizards, but don't like to have to deal with crickets and all the different bugs. So the plan was, I have a friend that does importation from Indonesia.
Yep.
His name's Michael Cole. He's ballroom pythons. I told him I wanted 10 skinks. I wanted all the same locality, and if he can get me a 3.7.
Okay.
He's like, I couldn't sex them myself. He didn't know how to sex them, so they basically did it in Indo for us.
Yeah.
I think the sex ratio is spot on for what they were supposed to send me. I don't think I have like a 4.6. They did give me the 3.7.
Yeah.
I bought the animals from him in probably like October, November, and the first year that I had them, they produced babies for me in June. Now, I was always told with the Indo stuff that they go like around December, so I was excited when I first got them, thinking, oh, they're all pregnant, because they were really like nice, thick animals. They weren't skinny.
Yeah.
I got them set up in their enclosure. Their enclosure is 4 foot wide by 8 foot wide, and then it's 2 foot tall. Originally, it was made for a single big tegu that I had. And I just made it into the lizard cage. I offer them UV lighting, a heat spot. When I first set them up, I probably had about 6 inches of mulch. I was always told that you can't house the lizards together, that they'll fight. I put all 10 of them together in that one big enclosure and said if I wake up tomorrow and their arms are ripped off, I'll know that I messed up and that I have to separate them.
Yeah.
I've had all 10 of those lizards. I still have all 10 of the lizards. They all have their arms, their feet, their tails, fingernails, no real aggression or anything like that. The males and the females can breed whenever they want. They've lived together from the time that I've got them, and they're still together now. I've never separated them. Even when you could tell that the females are gravid, the babies are just born with the parents. But some of the things that I think that I did that really worked was I provided them with a big enough cave that, 4 or 5 of them can go into this cave comfortably, but they also have 4 to 6 inches of mulch that they can dig into. So I like I said, I don't see any real aggression. The females aren't all tore up on their necks. I breed tegus, so I'm used to animals biting them on the nape of the neck and thrashing them until they submit. So I've been very fortunate with the skinks. I've now had 3 successful years of breeding them. They've always lived together again, which is something that I've always been told that they can't do. And pretty much
year round you're keeping them outside, not bringing them in at all when it gets cold? Or
so this year, because I could tell that I had at least 3 of the females gravid, I did not take them outside. So what I was doing was during the wintertime I would bring them indoors, and then during the summertime I was bringing them outdoors. Having now 3 years of experience with them, I could tell that the girls were all pregnant in June, and my concerns were that if I brought them outside that they could abort or something like that. So I didn't want to change anything, and it's a pretty drastic when you're keeping them in a controlled environment and then putting them right outside. They do fine outside, but I didn't have the setup for them to be outside year round. I didn't have an extra heat source on them or anything like that. So it's just easier and I think safer. Don't want to mess up a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
So I wound up keeping them in this year. But I do plan on putting them back out there next year. It's really good that I can say that within like a month or two of them having the babies, the females look like they've completely bounced back. Now
Really?
they're not
That's
as big and
awesome.
round,
Yeah.
but
But
you know,
they're eating.
they're
back
eating.
is-
They're
yeah.
doing everything that they're supposed to be
Awesome.
doing, and they put the weight back on. And
Yeah.
like I said, every year it's gotten bigger and better. Some cool things that I learned this year that I never knew about Blue Tongued Skinks. Like I said, I breed tegus. You know, I'm working on breeding monitors. Was that the babies actually eat the placenta and all that
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
out. I had been showing a friend that came over to buy a skink from
Yeah.
me, the adults, and then we walked in and the female was having her babies.
That's awesome.
While we walked in.
Yeah.
2 or 3 things that happened like in a row that was really cool this year was that the skinks all had their babies after 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
So
I was
weird.
trying to find some kind of coalition or whatever the word is. Correlation
Yeah.
with the weather. You know, it's like, were we getting afternoon rains on
Yeah.
those days? It was nothing. There was 3 different temperatures, 3 different pregnancies, but all of them at 4 p.m. You know,
Very interesting.
in
Yeah.
the past years of me breeding them, I always found the babies the next day because
Yeah.
I try to feed all the lizards first thing in the morning so that they can digest their food
Yeah.
while they have access to their heat lamps and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I always try to feed early in the morning, and that's usually when I've been finding them. But this year, knowing that I had the pregnant females and that they were going at 4, I kept going in there like, I'm in there at 3 o'clock, I'm in there at 4, I'm in there at 5, looking at them just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's still exciting and new for me, you know, where I've probably had like 10 different female tegus have babies or have eggs for me
Yeah.
in the past, so it's like I'm
Yeah.
not as excited.
I get you.
But, you know, when
Yeah.
they're new, it's exciting,
Yeah.
so I'm like extra,
Yeah.
you know.
Blue
keeping an
tongues.
eye.
Blue tongues are. I mean, I've been producing blue tongues for the past few years. I keep mine in racks.
Mm-hmm.
I've been breeding them. Like right now, I'm in the process of breeding. And
But it's only ever one animal, right?
what do you mean?
One animal per cage? Or
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, one animal per cage, exactly. And like just right now, I had an issue where what my cycle is this. So I'll put male with female every day. You know, I watch them. I'm on top of them. Literally, like one of my friends calls it a threesome, pretty much. So, so I'm watching them, and I made a bad judgment call to look away and look at another pair that were doing it, and then the female grabbed the male, death rolled, fucked up his eye, the whole thing. And so I've been really thinking, I'm like, dude, I really want to keep them outside. I did a podcast a couple months ago with Ron St. Pierre. He explained to me how he does them outside. So my next big thing is moving my blue tongues from a rack to outside. The only thing that I would keep in a rack is my really, really high-end stuff that I need to be on top of, that I have some ivories that they came out this year.
Nice.
So, like that's my thing, and when you were talking to me about the Marukis that you keep outside, I'm like, dude, I used to have Marukis. I had bad luck with them keeping them the same way as the Northerns. But if you're doing them outside, I'm gonna get some more, because I love breeding blue tongues.
I like that they're also affordable.
Yeah.
When I looked into some of the Northerns and the pricing and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I was like,
Yeah.
And that's something that I wouldn't really experiment with,
Yeah.
When I put them together, I was probably paying $200 for a lizard.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they were
yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but I had bought them sight unseen, and,
Yeah, anything could have happened. Anything.
It's a
could've- yeah.
done deal, and
Yeah.
anything could have happened. They could have tore off their legs while they were in the bags.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but like I said, every year it's gotten better, and then almost like every clutch is better. Now, I don't know if this is a big clutch, but the Marukis that I've had typically were like 7, 8.
That's a good size.
Babies.
That's a good size. Yeah,
okay, or litters.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, my thing
I did
is,
have 9.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
Yeah, I think that those numbers are perfect because some of the skinks, like I have one Northern that that 1 year she gave 20, and she was huge during breeding through her whole cycle, everything, but the babies sucked. You know,
really small babies.
Yeah, really small babies. They were weak. I lost a couple, and then she took a while to bounce back. So for me, like I wouldn't want more than 10 babies per animal. Just so that way the babies are healthier. Even though it's less production, I mean, the most important thing is for the babies to thrive.
I would also add that the animals, when I got them as imports, they were younger animals.
Okay.
They were like adult size, but they weren't like really old ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then like I said, they came in great shape. They were already a good weight.
Yeah.
And then I said if there was any issues, I was going to take care of it right
Yeah.
away. But I really wanted to try it. And I've known people in the past that did breeding groups of them.
Yeah.
But I think that the important thing is having their own hiding places. They can get away from
Yep.
each other if they want to.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I think led to my success.
Cool.
They were like, for the females this year, they were all in like June, the beginning of July. It was probably like 2-week increments. Every one of them, the first litter was 7, the second litter was 8, the third litter was 9.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
but I didn't know if that was because they held them that much longer that I got one more baby,
Yeah,
or that's why
yeah.
they had to hold them
Yeah,
longer.
yeah.
But I'm fine with that. The babies come out; they're eating within like 2 days of coming out of the moms.
That's
awesome. I was literally holding one of the babies that was in a clear egg sac.
Yeah.
I started to tear it because I've had experiences with boas back in the day where if you left it in an egg sac too long, they suffocated.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not letting the baby die,
Yeah.
not while I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So I started tearing it open, and then a second later, the baby
Pops up.
blew
Yeah.
out of the egg
Yeah.
in my hand, turned around and ate the placenta.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I was like, oh, that makes sense because I've had baby boas born, and you wind up with a half-inch of slime on the bottom of the enclosure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so cool because you're so happy that you got the babies. You'd
Yeah.
probably roll in the afterbirth, with just being happy.
Yeah.
But these guys, it was a very clean birth, and I'm
Yeah.
like, now that all makes sense, So
Yeah.
I'm still learning, and
Yeah.
it's that the animals are still teaching me.
Yeah, that's
you
cool,
know,
man.
So
With a name like Redfoot Ranch, you would think that you only have tortoises, maybe some turtles, but you have a lot of stuff, man.
I do.
Yeah.
I've loved reptiles my whole life. I'm
Yeah.
52 years old. There's pictures of me with box turtles in New York growing up.
Nice.
When I was like, being bathed in a 5-gallon bucket. So here I am, this big.
Yeah.
So just always have had reptiles in my life, and will always plan on continuing. But I feel that at this point I've got to move my stuff to Texas or out of this state.
Yeah.
Because it's just getting too crazy here.
Things are tough, man. Definitely.
And I want to go back to breeding my tegus before they get too old.
Yeah, for sure.
So some of my oldest animals, I have a sulcata that I've had for 27 years. I've been working with Redfoots for probably like 27, 28 years now.
Yeah.
Cool story with them. I bought them for myself in July when I bought my house. As a housewarming gift and a birthday present to myself. By the end of July, I had my first Redfoots. By the Christmas of that year, I had my first babies, and that's when they
awesome.
paid for themselves. And they really have almost like helped me to build my empire of turtles. Right now, I'm at probably about 200 turtles and tortoises.
Oh, I love that, dude.
Probably at about 50 lizards. I wouldn't want to get any more than that because they're all bigger lizards. The skinks are the smallest lizards that I work with.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to get anything, smaller, and I'm not looking to grow the lizard part of the business any. I've said the second that I do get into Texas, when I'm at the Texas border, somebody better hand me some green anacondas, because that is part of the reason why I want out of the state.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done nothing wrong. I've had like the Class 3 permit to sell reptiles here in the state of Florida for probably close to 30 years.
Yeah.
And I can't own animals that, you used to be able to buy in any pet store.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous in that sense, but it is what pushed me to doing the skinks because I figured somebody's got to help to pay for all the food for the other animals that I'm feeding.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm Solomon with Eastern Florida Pythons.
Hell yeah, man. All right, so talk to me about what we got here.
All right, so I brought over 2 animals. This is actually a really neat project that I've been working on for the past 4 years. It's called the Centauri gene. It's a really interesting gene in that it's very banded, and what's really cool about the bands is they typically show up in the next animal.
Okay.
Depending on what you mix it with. So this is actually the base gene itself, and what I really like about it is inside the actual alien heads itself, it has these little double spots in most of that, and those will also show up.
Okay.
Plus it's a lot darker, and it's got this really interesting little neck pattern too, which you'll also see in a lot of the different combos. Now, like I said, I've been working on this for 4 years, and I've made a number of combos. I am not the first person to produce the Centauri clown.
Okay.
The person that I got the original animal from, which was a red stripe 100% het clown, who just started throwing this gene.
Okay.
actually had produced a Centauri clown before and didn't know what it was.
Understood.
So, yeah. But this is the first year that I've produced a Centauri clown, and this is what it is. And what's really neat, as you can see, the multiple spots that come through it, and then also it's very banded as well.
Yeah.
The pattern seems to be very dominant whenever it transfers over, which is really cool. Now, the only thing in this project that I have not figured out yet is if there's a super. And this past year this year actually was my first chance to do that.
Okay.
But I only had one chance, and she only laid 4 eggs. So I missed it. Unfortunately, I missed it. But this coming season, I actually have 3 females that will be big enough, and I actually have the single gene isolated now, so I'm really excited about it.
Perfect, man. So what are we mixing with it other than clown?
So we've mixed Mojave with it.
Okay.
Vanilla.
Okay.
Red stripe.
Yep.
We've also mixed, I've seen Inchy with it, and that right now is it.
Okay, cool.
So not a ton of stuff.
All right.
So it's still a very, I'm really the only one that's working with it. There's a few people that have it, but I'm really the only one that's working with it right now. So.
And this Centauri clown, is that for sale, or is that one of your breeders?
She is not.
Okay.
She is actually staying with me. This is the first one I've been able to actually have.
Okay.
I am hoping to, by this next season, actually have Centauri het clowns available, not just possible het clowns.
Okay.
I'll have Centauri het clowns this year.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
That's
and hopefully
cool stuff.
I'll actually have some more Centauri clowns, and they will be available
Okay.
this year.
You thinking about putting it into other recessives?
I do want to. I'd like to try Pied, but one that I really want to get into is Desert Ghost. I think that would be insane.
Yeah. What about Puzzle?
I haven't got into Puzzle yet. I think it would be pretty cool, especially with it's already got a pretty busy pattern. I think that would really be pretty neat, especially like a puzzle clown. I mean, look at this. It already kind of looks like, kind of like a puzzle itself, but I think that would be neat. I'd like to see what Spotnose does with it, too.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah,
like
especially
Spotnose, Clown, Centauri.
Exactly, especially since it seems super dominant in Clown itself. So we'll see what happens with it.
That's cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing it. I've been seeing you pop up on my Instagram for a while now.
Yeah.
So I definitely had wanted to see them the first time that I saw you at one of these Repticons. Yeah. So that's cool stuff, man.
It's exciting. I'm really excited.
Well, good stuff, bro. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
introducing me to this gene, dude.
Absolutely, my
Hell
pleasure.
yeah, dude.
It was good to see you.
They're a lot more finicky than the leopards are.
Okay.
You can go away and miss leopard gecko eggs for a couple days.
Yeah.
If I don't check these guys for eggs for a couple days, I'm throwing some out.
Got you. And when I breed blue tongues, I gotta watch them. Do you have to do very similar with the fat tails?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Some of my my males are aggressive breeders.
Okay.
And if the female is not receptive, she's going to fight back.
I understand. Okay. Whoa.
That particular combination for about 10 to 14 years was believed to be fatal.
Got you. Yeah, I remember him telling me something about that.
Same thing with the whiteout and AML patternless.
Yep.
But now we've got a couple different bloodlines that are working. There's the European, I think it's called Proherchek is the pronunciation.
Okay.
And then there's my line.
Nice.
I was lucky and I accidentally put a whiteout het patternless with an AML, and all of those offspring were double hets.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the podcast. I want to give a huge shout out to REPTICON, Premium Crickets, and Reptiles Express for having us out. We'll see you on the next one.